In this module, I've invited Norm Farrar on, and Norm runs a company that specializes in PR and press releases. Press releases can be a really good way to get your name out there and to start building some branding and some backlinks. Now, press releases aren't an instant fix. They're not gonna, in most cases, make you a lot of money overnight, but it's more of a long-term strategy that can really help you start generating some buzz and some credibility. And when people come onto Amazon and they see your product, maybe they actually go to Google and Google it to see if there's anything been said. And they'll often stumble upon these press releases, and they're sometimes picked up by major different publications out there. And it adds a lot of credibility to your branding. And so Norm is going to be talking about how to implement press releases into your strategy for launching your products on Amazon. Norm, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hi, everybody. My name's Norm Farrar, and in today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about using press releases. Yes, old school press releases to launch your product, grow your business, and build your brand. But first, let me explain what you're going to learn in part one of our training session. What is a press release? The difference between public relations and a press release? How do press release distribution companies work? What are the two types of press releases? The anatomy of a press release, and what to expect from your keyword ranking. So what is a press release? It's important that you understand the term PR and how it can be used to describe a public relations company and a press release company. So many people over the years have asked me to help them with events or launches, and what they're really looking for would be a public relations person. So let's talk about public relations. It's the practice of managing the tone and messaging of a brand or company. It may include product launches, research, events, anything a company is doing or even controlling. And it could even be past messaging, like negative events, negative reviews. A public relations company will take that, spin it, and make it all good, and then hand it to the press release company. So, that being said, a press release are written communications that report specific or brief information about an event, circumstance, or something newsworthy that can be submitted to different media outlets, journalists, bloggers, influencers through a variety of distribution networks. Now, here's a couple of examples. You're launching your product on Amazon. Now, that's an event. Or your company may be providing your product for free at a dog training school, or maybe schools across the US, because research has recently shown that dogs will learn commands twice as fast using bully sticks rather than traditional forms of training. Now, this is an example. I completely exaggerated. No, I made it completely up. Do not do that. Make sure the information that you are providing is accurate, or you could get into a lot of trouble. But now that you have your event, how do you get that information out to the public? Through a press release distribution company and their network. Many public relations companies have proprietary networks or large databases that can reach people in specific niche markets or media outlets, which can be made up of a combination of the following, like news outlets, CNN, Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, any of their affiliates. But there's also a lot of small town USA links that are out there. And you have to be careful. And I'm going to show you how to research the PR company so you're not going for these garbage links. Next, you can go to newspapers like the Miami Herald, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Los Angeles Times, or the LA Times, search engines, Google, Bing, and any foreign engine that's out there, but also to content outlets like the Associated Press, MarketWatch, Yahoo, Reuters. And if you can get into those content outlets, you could be spread onto hundreds, if not thousands, of other websites that they promote to. There's also social media networks, influencers, bloggers, journalists, and even radio, periodicals, trade magazines, and they have international, national, and local coverage. And guess what? It's all for $200 to maybe $1,000. Like, where else can you advertise across the nation for that? I mean, try going to a local magazine or somebody in your region to do regional marketing for $200 to $1,000. It's almost impossible. Remember, it could be any combination or all of these types of outlets. It's depending on what you're willing to pay. Now, there are two types of press releases. At least that's what we're going to be talking about today. There's a few others, but let's stick to social media press releases and traditional press releases. So an online or social media press release. This is the most common and the least expensive press release on the market. There's a wide range of quality ranging from absolutely worthless, I'm being kind, to above average quality with tons of pickup and reach. They range from free, and you'll see this all over the web, that there's free press releases or $10 press releases. And those press releases, first of all, you're going to get what you pay for, and they're going to go to, remember, those small town USA links. And then you've got press releases from about $100 to $400, and they have a wide variety of ranges. Now, some of them you might want to compare. Some might go to those content providers, and they might be a little bit more expensive, and that's the reason why they're $400 compared to 400 or 500 outlets going out just to the news outlets or to newspapers. So when you see content being added or content providers being added to a press release, the price goes up. So just keep that in mind. And as the name implies, they target online media networks, social media, and they typically have a proprietary network that they developed over the years of journalists, influencers, and bloggers. Many do not have the ability to geo-target, but I'll show you that simply. There's a quick fix around that. Now, traditional press releases, as the name suggests, it's a typical press release. Any combination of the distribution content mentioned earlier, and usually tied into a larger database of journalists, blogger, and influencers that can target niche trade magazines, regional marketing, state or national marketing. These are used for big events or announcements and usually rank extremely well. I might be dating myself, but back in the day, when a traditional press release was published, you would hear the PR has just hit the wire. That was big news. If there was an announcement or a public company was doing something or a politician was announcing something. And even today, politicians and public companies use traditional press releases because of the quality of the media outlet, the reach, and the ability to rank. Now let's talk about press release distribution. Press release distribution is based on the quality of the service, the depth of the database, the syndication network, price, the quality of the written press release, and it also depends on the product or service you're writing about. If I'm writing about a dog bully stick, completely different than if I'm writing about a supplement. Amazon sellers 5 years back absolutely abused the system. They snuck in so much promotional material. They'd have images that would have 10% off, pop-ups on their website that was driven back from the press release. They did everything possible that was against the guidelines of the press release, so they just shut it off. Probably 80%, 90% of all distribution networks will not handle supplements or CBD. There's usually a list of banned topics, and you just have to ask. So if you're a supplement manufacturer or you're a seller, make sure you ask for that, because you might get everything ready just to find out that it gets rejected. And oh yeah, your press release will be rejected if you don't understand those guidelines. For example, if there are spelling or grammatical errors, guess what? The Wall Street Journal, Miami Herald, any of the TV stations or networks or cable outlets are not going to have you published with spelling mistakes or grammatical errors. Also, if there's promotional language, or if your press release is written in the first person, there's going to be a problem. It's not allowed. Now, all press release companies will give you or provide you with the guidelines. Now, going back to that writing in first person, you can break that rule as long as you're quoting someone like yourself. And then you can talk in first person rather than third. I'll be providing a couple of different distribution reports to download, but in the meantime, let me show you a couple. Okay, let me show you what to expect with a social media press release distribution report. I grabbed this one. It's a company that got picked up by 415 media outlets and had a potential reach of 39 million people. I've seen it as high as 120, 130 million people. But again, that just depends on the networks that you're using. You could also receive a keyword ranking report, but I'll show you that a little bit later. It's really impressive, but let's just move on to go through these reports. There are 40 pages included in this report, and I'm only showing you 2. And in these 2, you can see the Boston Herald and the Miami Herald showed up, as well as a bunch of other companies. The report has a clickable link. So if the press release company says it's on the Boston Herald or been published in Miami Herald, you can click it to make sure that you can see it on their website. Then it'll show you different media outlets, the type of media outlet, the countries they cover, and the estimated visitors per month, which is important. In the traditional press release distribution report, you can get over 5,000 media pickups. It's crazy, but they are available. And there's a big difference in the quality of the media outlets. This report I recently copied, and I just wanted to show you. This is only 3 pages. And as you can see Bloomberg, CNBC, the Harvard Business Review, Los Angeles Times, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, and even got on to Costco Connection, which is kind of cool. And these are only a few. Please take note. Before working with any press release distribution company, ask them for a copy of their distribution or syndication report so you can check out the links. Usually, the quality links will cost you money. If you see a free PR, all that means is that you're going to have a ton of small town USA links compared to USA Today, Wall Street Journal, all those ones I just went through. You pay for quality. Okay, let's talk about the anatomy of a press release. The structure is so very important. If you don't understand how to put it together, you won't get the results or the ranking you're looking for. Similar to an Amazon listing. If you don't know how to optimize it, it's just not going to rank. Now, there are 9, I almost said 7, but there are 9 important parts to a press release. The first one, and probably the most important, is the title. It makes up 80% of the search ranking. Now, similar to Amazon, you'll need to add keyword phrases at the beginning of your title, and you can also add single keywords. Any combination of the keywords will be picked up by the algorithm, and it'll make a combination or any combination of the keywords, the single keywords, the keywords phrases, and you'll see multiple combinations once you start to see your keyword ranking report. Does that make sense? I think so. Now, do not use your brand. You don't have to do it. You've only got 60 characters, so you have limited workspace. So leave your brand for your body. Nobody cares. Okay. At this point, nobody cares. The second part to your title is add the event or launch or announce some certification or research. And yes, if done correctly, you can even add an Amazon promotion, but it just can't be too promotional, but you can do it. Followed by a benefit or something engaging to make it newsworthy. You can also create geo-targeted press releases and press release titles, which are really cool. Maybe not at the beginning, but later on, if you know that in King, Oregon, that people are buying your bully sticks, you can target cities or regions under 350,000, and you'll find that you'll rank for incredible primary and primary long-tail keywords almost instantly everywhere near King, Oregon. Let's take a look at some good and bad titles, starting with bad first. So the first one, 5 reasons why Bob's Bully Sticks are the best grass-fed bully sticks for dogs. Well, first of all, probably got an article writer to write this. The reason for that, you're using this 5 reasons why. We don't do that in press releases. What you want to talk about, you want to make things newsworthy. So you'd get rid of that. Bob's Bully Sticks, well, that's the name of the brand. So if you get rid of 5 reasons why Bob's Bully Sticks, you'd have a lot more space to write a really great title. The next one, Bob's Bully Sticks go on sale on Amazon. Get your 10% coupon. Buy now. Completely promotional. It'll get rejected immediately. Plus, Bob used Bob's Bully Sticks at the beginning. Here's a few good ones. Natural bully sticks promote healthy digestion for elderly dogs. Next, odor-free. So odor-free Bull Pizzle. The reason why Pizzle's used there is it's a different name. It means the exact same thing as Bully Sticks, but a lot of people aren't using Bull Pizzle. I'll explain that when we get into keyword research in the next module. But odor-free Bull Pizzle chews help puppies learn training commands. Next, 6-inch bully sticks help puppies learn training commands in King, Oregon. There's that geo-targeting. The next is the summary. It's 160 characters, and it allows journalists or bloggers, influencers to review your information very quickly. They don't want to read 350 words to get to the point. They want something very quick that they can say yay or nay to, and usually they'll see this on Twitter. The third part of a press release is the body. It's made up of 350 to 500 words. Now, don't write a book. Now, I've seen politicians, I've seen public companies write a book, but you don't have to. When you're talking about a brand, you want to just talk about the specific topic, the research, the benefit, and do it within 350 to 500 words. Do not keyword stuff. It will not do you any good. And also, don't do the old school. I'm talking old school keyword anchor text. It doesn't work. Google's not going to like it. You're not tricking anybody. But what you can do is you can have anchor text, like let's say for internal links back to your blog or to your shopping, or an external link maybe back to an external link back to an authority site. And then if you need to have an anchor text for some reason, you can make it, half the sentence or the sentence. That's not just talking about the specific keyword, if that makes sense. The second paragraph, or right after you do your first paragraph, is where you might want to say something like, to learn more here, put a raw link either back to your product page, a raw link back to your product page, or to your Amazon store, or to your brand feed. Now, just make sure that you go and put the link directly, and there's no problems. If you're going to try to say Bob's Bully Sticks or whatever you want to say as the keyword, odorless bully sticks, and you link that back, learn more about odorless bully sticks, you could get penalized. You can also use quotes. And like I said earlier, you can write quotes. They can be from you, but don't over abuse quotes because you'll get penalized for that as well. And that way you can write in the first person rather than the third. The fourth section is contact information. I don't know why, but many people don't want to provide contact information. I don't get it, but I want my name there or somebody's name. I want my address so it'll show up on Google Maps. A phone number, nobody's going to call you, and you can go and get a virtual number, your email address, and your website. Now, there is a tip here on your website. If you have pop-ups, be careful. Google does not like pop-ups, or any of the press release promotional companies or distribution companies do not like pop-ups coming up, and they could ban you. The fifth part is a little summary about yourself. What's your company all about? It's very short, and it's seen on every press release. This is where you can tell the story, a little bit of the brand story about your company. Don't forget about social media. Go to your Facebook or show your Twitter link or your LinkedIn link, TikTok, and you can even post your YouTube channel. And talking about YouTube, this is number 7, you can embed a video talking a bit more about the press release, which is really cool because people will see the video and they might stay on the press release a little bit longer. 8 is the images and the logo. So you definitely want to put your logo up there, and you could have your picture up there or 3 or 4 pictures of your product, your facility, whatever you want to, but it's there for the taking. And number 9, last but not least, attachments. You can attach PDF, instructions, research, white papers, certification, anything that you want to go out with your press release. So that's it. Those are the 9 parts of the anatomy of a quality press release. Okay, let's talk about keyword ranking. I'm sure everyone has been waiting to see the type of results that you can expect from a properly optimized press release. Well, here you go. Social media press release. Most press release companies track your keyword results. You can either get a report in 24 to 72 hours, and some even have real-time reports where you just log in and you can see them as people pick them up. So not everybody's going to pick up at one time. It could take 72 hours. It could take much more. But the majority of the results are within the first 24 to 72 hours. And in this example, I grabbed an Amazon product and it ranked for 442 keywords and had 312, which ended up on the first page in the first position within 24 hours. Not bad. So check out the results from a traditional press release keyword report. In this example, I used a service, not a product, but we would have got the same results. Since it has much larger reach and distribution, guess what? 1,345 keywords on Google, and get this, 1,037 on page 1, first position. That was within 24 hours. So please keep in mind that there could be any combination of keywords. Good, bad, ugly. You could have a 2-word combination right up to a 5-word combination, depending how many words are in your title. But anyways, it's all good. Ranking is ranking, and there's always some pretty awesome keywords which will get ranked one way or the other. And especially if you go back to the geo-targeting, if you target those keywords in a specific market with geo-targeting, primary keywords will generally get ranked within 24 hours, not just long tails. So it's great news for those people who have got events going in specific areas of the nation. So I hope you understand how powerful press releases can be. Now we're moving on to the next module to learn how to use press releases to launch, rank, and maintain your listing. I'll see you there.